Hi there, Michelle here, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am going to be fixing more of my past crochet projects. I like to do these videos every few months just to kind of give myself a break from bigger projects, but also I can kind of get them done, I wouldn't say quickly, but if I work on these for half the week, then the other half of the week, I can start that bigger project. Now, here's the thing. It's not that I don't like the projects that I made in the past. It's more I don't like the techniques that I used, because since I've done those projects, I have improved on my crocheting techniques. First project that I really want to fix is this one here. This is the second cardigan slash second apparel crocheted item that I have ever made. The first one was the sunflower one, which I actually did, I'm pretty sure I fixed in a video, but I never really got around to fixing this, and I've needed to fix it ever since I finished it. I did the ribbing backwards. This was actually the second project, again, that I've ever made that was like a cardigan. I was still new to ribbing. So there's a few things that I definitely want to change on this. When I do ribbing, I always like to do it on the outside of the sleeve, or the good side of the project. This one here, I did it right, but this one, really you can see with the white, you see those little black lines right there? All right, can you kind of see like the differences between them? The other thing is I think I just got lazy when it came to doing the border. I like to do a better border. I just kind of did, I feel like this is like a half double or a double crochet border, and I like to do ribbing borders, which is so strange why I didn't do it for this one, because the sunflower one, I did do it. So I really don't know what happened there. I really want to redo the ribbing and also add a collar. Now here's the thing. I actually just learned a brand new technique to do a collar when I was doing my wolf cardigan or fox cardigan. I keep calling it a wolf cardigan because technically this was a wolf pattern, and then Project Hail Mary made it into a fox one, and then Mary Maxim also made a fox one. In order to get the fox pattern, you had to buy like the whole kit, which included the yarn, which I didn't need, so I bought the wolf one. Anyways, never done a collar like this before until I did this project, and I'm like, oh, that's such a good idea. Do I just want to take apart all of my old collars and just redo them like this? Yes, I really do, but one project at a time. In the vlog that I made right after I had made this, I did say that I wanted to take the collar apart and redo it. And I did it. I actually did it. So I did make it a lot bigger. Night and day difference. It kind of kept rolling up on the back of my neck when it was shorter, but I did make it a little bit bigger. So you see kind of how this collar is, where there's like the ribbing back here, the ribbing on the front just kind of continues up. That is what I want to do with this one. The ribbing on the bottom is fine. I did it pretty good. I don't know if I had retaken it apart and redid it. I honestly don't remember. This was actually my very first granny square project that it was like a traditional granny square, and I thought it was like the coolest thing ever, and obviously like I still love it. So I don't think the bottom has to be done, but I do want to redo the ribbing for the front. I also think for the sleeves, I'm going to take the ribbing off for the cuffs, and I think I'm going to take the last section of squares out. So hopefully the way that I sew them together isn't that bad, because I really don't want to resew it. The arms are just a little bit too long. When I take this out, I'm going to make the ribbing longer. This is project one. The next project that I want to fix is this tote bag here. This was probably one of my very first tote bags, like this one and like the waffle tote bag were like my first tote bags that I've ever crocheted. Oh, and that flower one too. I've only made a few tote bags at the time when I had made this. Since I've made this, I have learned a lot, and I definitely want to change a few things. This isn't a bad tote bag. It's just the handles were not great. This was before I realized that if you crochet them a certain way, they will stretch out. My idea for this is first, I'm going to take the handles out, because thank goodness I just sewed them on. They're not crochet. I'm going to take the handles off, and I'm going to take all these pieces apart. I think it's a front, a back, and then the side and the bottom is just one long piece. And then I'm going to put them back together. Ooh, a green. Sorry, but I just thought of like a really cool idea. I don't know if I have this purple anymore. This was probably, I think I made this in like 2022, so it's been a while since I made this. I don't know if I have the yarn anymore. I don't know how much yarn I have of it, because I might have used it for something. My sister also could have used it for something, so I really don't know what yarn it is. Also, like, I can't just go to a store and buy the same yarn due to dye lots, okay? I know this is Loops and Threads Impeccable, and they probably still make these exact shades, but the dyes are gonna be different. So I'm thinking, and honestly, I'm just thinking of this like right now, okay? Like my original idea was I was just going to take all the panels apart and then I'm going to re-stitch them, but instead of sewing them together, because I sewed them together on the inside, I'm going to crochet them together, like pinching the parts together and crocheting them together. That is kind of my idea. But now I'm thinking, what if I used a contrast color? Instead of doing it in the purple, connecting them together and the straps, what if I did a fun color? Now I'm kind of thinking of like that green color that I absolutely love that I just can't think of the color name right now. A bright green color. Can you see this green right here? Down in this corner, like a bright fluorescent green, kind of like that, or maybe even a green that's like a little bit more yellow to do the handles and to attach it together to give it like another pop of color. So I think that would actually look really, really cool. Those are the projects that I want to work on for this video, and hopefully they turn out okay. If you are new to my channel and you like crocheting, knitting, yarn, thrifting, the 80s, this whole vibe, then why not hit the subscribe button? If you subscribe to my channel, then you will be up to date to all of my latest videos. Let's do a little try on so I can show you why I need to make these changes. I think that this is such a cute cardigan. It is so cute. Changes need to be made. Very long sleeves. I figure if I take this whole section off and make it a cuff, it will cinch in better, and I think it will look better. I'm not really someone who likes really long arms. I like it if they're a little billowy, but not the length. And then right here, you see how it just kind of does this. So I'm hoping to cinch this in a little bit and put an exaggerated collar. I also thought of the idea of, instead of taking all of these double crochets out, I'll just put the ribbing onto there, and then I won't have to make the ribbing as long. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things that I have to change. I also have to figure out if I still have this yarn, because I'm gonna be honest, I probably don't. So if I can find yarn that looks similar-ish to it, I think I'll be okay. This bag here, not really a try on, but like this is what it looks like right now. I really wanna do these differently, and I'm gonna do a single crochet up, like back and forth, and that will create a little bit more stability with these. Like these were never this long to begin with. I remember this bag being like up to here, but because time stretched it out, it got stretched out. And yeah, I just feel like the bag is very rounded, just the way that I sew things together. So what I'm hoping is when I re-sew it together, it will be more square-like. Time to find a green yarn for the bag. Now, obviously, I think this is the one I'm gonna go with. Like, I am 99% sure this is the green. Let's see what else is in here. That's a cool green too, but that's too green. This wouldn't be enough. Yeah, no, I know this is the green. I 100% knew this is the green, and this is the green that I was talking about. But that's a fun green too. Throw that on. Would that be enough though? Because that is a glow in the dark green. No, I'll save that for something fun. I kind of want to stick with the same yarn, and I know that this is Loops and Threads Impeccable, so stick with this. It is kind of dreary today. It's Saturday afternoon, it's raining, it's a little windy. I have the windows open though, and I'm getting such a nice breeze in here. I'm just excited to do this. So I think the first thing I gotta do is take the handles off, and then I have to take the border off. I don't want to cut the bag. I am impressed on how I attach these handles. I put it right where the color was. Did I accidentally cut it? Oh no, I accidentally cut it. I thought I was cutting. It's fine. I will stitch it up. I thought I was cutting this and I accidentally cut the wrong square. Yay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take apart everything that I sewed. I think I might have single crocheted them together, because that's how I used to sew things together, is I used to single crochet them. I did accidentally cut that, so I'm just gonna have to fix that. Did I cut that too? Yeah, I accidentally cut into that. I don't know what I was doing over here, to be honest. I could fix it by redoing it, but then that means I have to find the exact yarn, because then I could just take this row apart, take this row apart, and then redo it, which wasn't really something that I wanted to do. I don't know if I can fix it because I really cut it there. Guess I could just take apart these and use this yarn instead. Okay, so that's a good idea. So I'm going to take apart these instead, and then that way it's the same yarn. And then I'm going to redo those 2 rows. I think I remember what I did. It's either half double or double. I'm going to have to figure that out too. Yay, because I didn't make notes for this. This is before I made notes. I had to watch my video a little bit to figure out what I did. Turns out it was a tutorial video. So if you're wondering how I made this, it's a tutorial video on my channel from way back in the day. All right, that's not too bad. Luckily, I only have to do 3 rows. For each square, I do 5 double crochets, and then I will switch colors, and I'll do each color for a total of 2 rows. 1 row, 2 row, and then I switch the color. Nowadays, I probably would have made this different, and I kind of want to make a different version now. If I were to do this now, I think I would do it in a brown and a pink. So that might be something that I do, because like I literally just did those 3 rows that I had to fix in like 5 minutes. Like, didn't take me any time. Now I'm going to attach them together using this fun green color, but I don't know if I want to do 1 row of single crochet, or do I want to do 1 row single crochet one way and then go back and then do it a second time. Done 1 row of the green, and already the structure of the bag is so much better. I kind of want to do another row of single crochets on top of the single crochets. Just see what that looks like. Yeah, I like the double. I think the double looks so much better and kind of draws your eyes away from the way that I did the single crochets. 1 more row of single crochets all the way around. I do like the thicker border, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish up this side, and then I'm going to do exactly what I did on this side on this side. I don't know if I like the 2 handles. Part of me kind of wants to just do 1 big green handle. I'm going to think about it, and then tomorrow I'll make my decision, because if I decide, hey, you know what, I like the 2 straps and all I got to do is just weave in some ends. But if I don't want to unweave the ends that I wove in, because that's annoying. Because it was annoying when I had to unweave the ends that I did for this project to begin with. I think I'm going to wait till tomorrow and then make my decision.
The next day.
I have decided to take the straps off. I've kind of thought about it. I think the problem with them is because I'm just doing it one side and I'm not going like back and forth like I normally would do for single crochets. It's doing this. It's going like that. And like, sure, I probably could sew it down like this, and then they would be like round handles. I think that this would be better with just a solid green strap that went from one side to the other. I will be taking this apart, which is not something I wanted to do, but I really just don't like the handles, and the whole point of this project and video is fixing things on past projects that I didn't like, and the reason why I never used them. Unlike the first time, I think I'm gonna do a single crochet border around the front first. For 2 rows? Yeah, maybe I'll do 2 rows and then I'll do these straps. All right, so I did 2 rows of single crochets, and now I'm going to chain 90, because that's what I did for the original straps, and I liked how the original straps, like the length of them, and then connect it to here, and then do some crochets back, connect it, go connect it, back, forth. And I know I could technically just make it by itself and then sew it on. This just seems easier, so that is what I'm gonna do now. making some progress on the handle. I've also decided to do ribbing for the handle because I feel like the handle needs a little bit more texture, and I think it will make it a little bit thicker, whereas a single crochet I feel is just a little boring. I mean, technically it is still a single crochet, but it's in the back loops only. This type of like, you know, like the rib texture, I think that's gonna look so much better. And then I'm doing like 2 slip stitches in between the stitches on the sides here. Hopefully this will look okay because I'm not taking it apart for a 3rd time. Not happening. I'm in the camper trying to figure out what color looks best. On camera, this is picking up very brown gray. I need to figure out a color that it matches with the most. So I remember this being the Loops and Threads Impeccable. This is also Loops and Threads Impeccable, and it was made 2024. I think this is Pound of Love. Like, is that gonna look like, it looks like 2 different colors, right? Like, I'm not going crazy. It looks like 2 different colors. I also have like this one. I don't know where that came from, but that looks too dark, and then this looks too off. Do I even bother trying to color match it, or just pick a color that's close enough that will do the job? Still trying to figure out what yarn to go with. I think I'm gonna go with this one. This is an older, I think it's an older yarn. It almost feels like a Bernat. It doesn't match it perfectly, but I think it matches it better than that. And I think this will be enough for me to do what I need to do. Let's just do it. And I mean, if it's off, it's off, okay? I've done my best. I don't remember the last time I worked with black yarn, and I forgot how difficult it is for me to crochet with it. I have to get my little light out, but then it makes everything blue toned because I still haven't gotten like a warm toned one, which I know exists. I'm doing the neck first, and then I'll go back and do the side ribbing up so then I can go right into the neck ribbing. Yesterday I was able to get the back of the neck done, like the collar part, and I got half of the side done, and then I haven't even started the arms. So this is what the collar looks like right now. I don't know if really you can see it. I think what's throwing me off is that I'm not done this side of the collar, so I'm like, it's not like big enough. I thought it was like a little bit too short, but I think it's fine. I think I did 16 for this. You know what I am realizing right now is that when I did the fox cardigan, I did 17. And I'm like, okay, that one was a little tall. Let's just go down like 1. Not really gonna make a difference. That was really thick yarn. That was like an Aran weight yarn, and this is a worsted weight yarn. So of course that one's gonna be taller than this one. This one I could have easily made 20. However, I don't know how much yarn I'm gonna have. That's another reason why I didn't start the cuffs, because I was kind of thinking about starting the cuffs last night. But just in case I run out of the black yarn that I have, I'd rather finish this front panel, like the front ribbing here first, and then worry about it. People are like, what the heck is that? It's a pasta. Ooh, these would make great. Like if a stitch marker comes with this little clasp right here that opens up like this, I will wear them as earrings. Today, I'm going to be finishing this. Okay, so I finished the ribbing for the front. Almost done. I'm now going to attach the ribbing onto the collar. So what I did differently from my last collar like this is I decided to do the collar first and then do the ribbing on both sides. I can just continue the ribbing up the side of the collar. The ribbing is going to go from here all the way to the top. Now I got to take apart the sleeves, and I got to remember how I did that. Here's the thing. I'm not even going to bother to take this off because I don't think it's that important. Also, I did invest in a new one of these. Brand is Lumos, and I actually picked this up at my local yarn store, Central Pearl. She got these in about like a month ago. You know, I had the one that I always complained about that gave like a blue light. Actually, I was complaining about it earlier in this video. So yesterday when I went to Crochet Club, I saw that she had these. I saw that she had the pink one. It was like $62, but it was actually cheaper than other places that you would buy the same brand online. I don't mind spending a little bit more money on a tool that is gonna help me. What's funny though is this looks exactly like the one that I had thrifted, but the one that I had thrifted, the bendable arms were a little too loose, like they bent, but then they would keep wanting to fall down. The other ones, the button turn on and off was a tap button, so I would accidentally tap it and then it would turn on, or it would change the light setting. Or this one's a physical button that you have to press. I won't blind you, but there are a few settings. So there's a setting where there's a yellow and a blue. Then there's a yellow setting, a blue setting. Then you can also change the intensity of the light. So this is the bright one. And then if you hold down the power button, it dims it. That's the blue dimmed. I'm going to be using this now. Something that I have learned since I've made this is if I'm doing the ribbing or like the cuffs in a different color, I want to go around the area first in a single crochet in the new color. And then that way, when I do the ribbing, I'm not getting these little bumps in here. Instead of me putting the ribbing right onto the white color, I'm going to be putting them on a single crochet of black that I did at the top of the white color. So that's what I'm doing right now. It does take a little bit more time, but I think it is worth it. Now, I wouldn't do a single crochet border if it was the same color on the same color. For instance, the fox one, because the fox cardigan is beige and the trim is beige, then it's the same and it doesn't really matter. This is the sleeve now. This is what the sleeve looked like before. You see how it had like the little bump there and the little bump there? Because I did that single crochet, it's nice and flat. The bumps are still technically there, but they're hidden in the single crochet of black yarn that I did. One sleeve is done, and now I'm gonna go and do the second sleeve, which will be the exact same process that I did for the first sleeve, so not that interesting. The cardigan is now complete. I think it did turn out really, really good. So like here's the front, the back. What are you really going to see on the back? I didn't do anything to the back of it. The back of it is exactly how it was when I first made it. I do like the collar. I think the collar could have been a little bit bigger, like I had already talked about. The only other collar that I've done before this was with a chunkier yarn. And so I was kind of going off of the math and the measurements of that, which obviously I shouldn't have done that. So I easily could have made this like 20, but like here's the thing. I can now put this in my notes, and then that way when I'm making another whatever and I need to put a collar on, depending on the type of yarn I have, I could be like, okay, this is a thicker yarn. I remember I liked it this much, or I'm gonna be making something with maybe similar yarn to this, and I'll be like, you know what? You could exaggerate a little bit. Now I know in the fox cardigan, I did take it apart and redid it. I don't think I'm gonna do it for this one, okay? This one is fine. This is my own creation kind of thing. The fox one, I was kind of, you know, obviously using a pattern, modeling it after the actual knitted one. So I did want that exaggerated collar. I also feel with that thicker yarn, the smaller the collar, that kind of rhymed. It did something weird in the back of the neck where it didn't like really roll over, but this one here rolls over kind of nicely, like right there, because it is a thinner yarn. So like that's okay. The changes that I obviously made was I redid the collar, I redid the ribbing on here. I think the ribbing looks so much nicer, and I shortened the sleeves. At this very moment in time, as if like right now, a week after I had started these projects, I'm already done the projects. I am realizing that they're both checkerboard. You'd think I would have like clicked into that earlier, but no. Y'all probably already figured that out at the beginning of the video. It took me an entire week to just kind of realize, hey, you know what? They're both checkerboard, but they're both done in a different way. Granny square, and that's like a double crochet stitch. Now, you might be noticing that I don't have any buttons on here. There was a button that I really wanted to use, and I'll show it to you. I was thinking about these buttons, okay? Like these are a pack of buttons. It was actually 2 packs that I got from Value Village, and they're all like these vintagey buttons. I wanted to use these ones. I picture these ones as the buttons. Unfortunately, they're too small. I did have these big purple ones, which I also really like, and I think the purple would have looked good with this as well. However, I wanted this just to be black and white. I didn't want any color on this. And I thought that these would have been perfect if they were just the size of the purple ones. But they are really cute, and I will definitely use them for another project. I did go to Fabricland today and I did try to find some buttons. Unfortunately, all the buttons that I kind of liked were too small or the wrong color. I just didn't find any buttons that I really liked for this project. But again, like the buttons, they're not necessary at the moment. And I don't really button things up anyways. And I know I mentioned that a lot. Would I have liked to have them to finish off this video? Of course. But I just didn't find any buttons that I was like, yeah, those are 100% the buttons I want. I know 100% the buttons that I want. They're just too small. I have 5 buttonholes. So when I do find some buttons that I really like, I can just hand sew them on, and I'll probably include that in one of my very many like Monday vlogs. Now, this Saturday is local yarn store day, and I'm going to like just a few shops this year. So I'm gonna be on the lookout for some buttons. I want like a geometric button. I don't want a round button because everything on here is like a square. And so I want like some type of geometric shape. I would love to have like a diamond or a square, because a square could be a diamond could be a square, maybe like an octagon or a hexagon, or like a triangle or a rectangle. I don't want anything round because I could have bought some round buttons, and I probably have some round white buttons, but I don't want round. I want like a weird shape. And you know what? If I find some really good flower buttons, I would do that too, because I know I have this button and technically it is white, if you can see it right there. It's more on the blue side. It's too much of a gray and it's kind of like opaque, and I want something that is a solid white color because the whole trim is in black, and so I want a button that will go with the white that's on the cardigan. The other thing that I was kind of contemplating on doing, but I decided against it at this moment, and it's not that I ran out of time, because I actually had time yesterday when I was done this. I just didn't know if it was necessary, because I'm kind of thinking of maybe putting some pockets like right here, because I did take 8 squares off of the sleeves, like 4 and 4. I could have made like a 4x4 pocket and put it here and matched up to the colors that were here. And I was kind of thinking that, but I just don't know how that's gonna look, because I don't know how heavy the pocket is gonna be. I don't wanna like put the pocket on here and then it's like tilting outwards, if that kind of makes sense. Just decided against it for right now. We'll see if I change my mind in the future. This is what the new collar looks like. So it's like that. I really like how the collar turned out, and I really like how the ribbing turned out. I do think that the ribbing for some reason is like kind of like cinching in this way, and I think it has to do with the double crochets that I did along the edge. I think it's fine. Like, I'm not mad at it or anything like that. Of course, I'm not gonna be mad at it. It's a cardigan. You know, the way that I would construct it now is definitely different than the way that I would have constructed it before. I do like the cuffs. I think I could have cinched them in a little bit more, but I was afraid that I would have cinched them in too much and then I wouldn't have been able to put my hand in it, or have been really, really tight. But I do think with the billowiness of the sleeve, the cuff is fine. I can't wait to add buttons to this. So I did put buttonholes in here, so when I do find the buttons that I want, I will be attaching them in here. Now, it's really interesting to see how I constructed this, because I would have constructed this so much differently. Right there. You see that little knot right in the middle of the screen? I'll put a circle around it if I have to. You see that little knot? Basically what I did is I would line up the 2 squares, and wherever like I ended the square, tied the 2 ends, like the white and the black, I tied it together like a few knots, and then I cut it super close to the knot. I would not have done that. I would have woven in all of the ends before I would have sewn it together. Also, don't think that I would crochet them together. I don't know if you really can notice, but they feel like a little bit puffy. I think it's because I crocheted them together. Overall, I probably give this like an 8 out of 10. If I really wanted to like completely redo it, I would have taken all the squares off, but I don't got time for that. Also, I don't think it's that necessary. If like the way I sewed them together was just awful, then yes, maybe I would have gone back and done it. But the construction of it wasn't that bad. It was just the details I feel like were missing. Are you ready for the grand reveal of the bag? Here it is. Now, I know technically in the video I made the bag before I made this. I think it was because I was just super excited to do the bag. So this is what the bag looks like now. A complete 180. I think this looks so good now. This is definitely something that I'm going to want to use a lot more now. It has been over 4 years since I've made this bag. I made it in February of 2022. Since I made it, I might have used it less than 5 times. Probably even less than that, because I just didn't like how the shape turned out. At the time, I was happy with it because I only knew so much on crocheting at the time. Time has passed and I've learned new techniques to make the bag a lot more functional and more my style. I absolutely love how this green looks with this purple. I am pretty sure that this green I had around the same time that I had this, because I think that this green I bought for a project 2012, 2013, maybe 2014. Around that time I had this project that I really wanted to do, and I had bought all the colors that I needed for the project, and I'm pretty sure this exact yarn was for that. Just because the way it was wound up, I know it was an older yarn. So this yarn has been around for a while. I could have done this technique when I had made this originally, but at the time I wasn't too sure. You know, I honestly thought that sewing it the way that I did would make it a square, and as you saw, it didn't really do that. This made it more of a square shape, and I like how rounded it is at the bottom. So it's like on the same on the front and the back. This is what the side looks like here. Really like that I went back and took the handles apart and redid them as one handle. I think it looks a lot better like a messenger style tote bag. It still has some stretch, but I feel like with this ribbing, it's not stretching as much as it did. And I feel like with the handles that I had originally made, I just wasn't happy with them. And I think that they still would have stretched. But this is just more of like a little tote bag if I'm going somewhere, I want to throw some stuff in. It does have some stretch to it, but it doesn't have like so much stretch that it's like gonna misshapen, right? For this part here, if you can see, I did the same technique that I would have done for ribbing like I did on here. So I would go up and then back, and then I would slip stitch into 2 stitches on this side panel here. I like this a lot better than if I were to have crocheted it separately and then sewed it in. I think this just looks a lot more polished and a lot nicer. This yellowy green color, I think it's chartreuse, makes the bag. Like, it looks so good. I absolutely love this bag. I give it like a 10 out of 10. This is how I envisioned the bag to begin with. Like, this was the vision that I had all those years ago. I just didn't know how to do it. You know what I mean? The construction of it is so much better. And I love that I put this vibrant pop of color in here. Without it, I think it would have been too boring, because part of me was thinking about just finding the dark purple and doing a dark purple border and dark purple handle. And then I thought about it. I mean, you saw me in the video just thinking about being like, oh, I could do that. And then I thought of this really bright green, and I think this green makes the bag. It was too purple. I needed something more jazzier. You know, it's kind of funny because if you were to flip this bag inside out, this is kind of the bag that I had to begin with, right? This was the shape of it. Technically, all I had to do was just flip the bag inside out. I didn't really have to do anything else, but I really like this bright green accent that I did. I want to make another bag like this, but I'm kind of thinking, what if I knit it? And then I could do like a video comparing a crochet version of a project versus a knitted version of a project. I think I've only done that once, and that was like with the Sophie hood. Like, I had knit it and then I had crocheted my own version of it, which is like, it went okay. I like the knit one better. I like how like the material is, but I think I would like to try that again with maybe knitting it. And I've never done anything in a knit that was a color work or changing colors. Everything that I've done, the same yarn, right? So I think that would be fun. I'm kind of thinking of maybe doing like a chocolate brown and like some type of like pink. I don't know what pink. I don't know if I want to do like a baby pink or more like a bubblegum pink. I'm kind of thinking like right in between is kind of what I'm thinking. Yeah, I really love how both these projects turned out. In the comments below, let me know if any of y'all have taken apart a past project and have redone it, or maybe you're considering it. I know it's a difficult decision to take apart something that you have worked so hard on, but if you're like not liking it and you're not using it or wearing it, sometimes it is better to go and take that time, take it apart and redo it. I mean, this bag, I never used it. It was literally just always balled up with all of my other reusable bags, never even thought about it. Now that it is finished and it looks like this, I want to use this all the time now. To me, it was worth going back and redoing this. As a crocheter or knitting or any type of craft, the more you do it, the more you learn what type of techniques you like and what you don't like. And so going back to an old project that maybe you were a beginner on, but now fixing it with the knowledge you have now is definitely worth doing. I think that does it for this video, so y'all have a good day now.